Hey everybody. I was talking with a client the other day, and when I asked him how he was doing, he gave me a litany of all the reasons why 2020 was such a horrible year, and he was very, very down and depressed and upset. And it got me thinking about all of the times over the last number of years when we get to the end of the year, around New Year's Eve, December or so, and a lot of people, I've seen the attitude of, thank God 2016 is over. It was such a horrible year. I can't wait to get to the next year. Thank God 2017 is over. What a horrible year. Thank God 2018 is over. And so on and so forth. And it got me thinking about the mindset that we walk through life in on a daily basis. We're always waiting for things to get better, and we're always focused on what's wrong and what the problems are. Don't get me wrong, 2020 has been a very challenging year, but I want to give you a number of tips, 5 specifically, ways to master your mindset and turn things around so that you can approach things positively. Now, I'm not talking about being Pollyanna-ish about this whole year. 2020 has been rough. I mean, when you think about the effects of COVID-19, we've all been having to wear masks and social distance. We've had to rethink the ways that we interact with each other and how we can be physical and intimate and connected with other people. We've had economic impacts where a lot of people have lost their jobs, or they've been furloughed, or they've had a reduction in their hours. We've had problems with divisive politics that have had us all be very anxious and upset. We've had racial inequality that has been touched upon and really hit an unhealed nerve in this country. So there have been a lot of things that have been very, very challenging. I want to flip this story, however, and suggest that there may be a different perspective, a way to look at this. 2020 has also given us an awful lot. Think about it. First of all, it's put a pause button on our relentless lurching and running forward towards the next thing. We've been forced to actually sit down and take a reckoning and be with ourselves and with our thoughts and with our principles and our values. We've had to do some very deep, soul-searching work in order to get to the core of who we are and understand ourselves better. That's been an opportunity that I think a lot of people have taken advantage of. We have a greater appreciation for the little things in life. We've found our center and actually started to ground ourselves. I know for myself, I've taken on some hobbies or picked up old ones. I've started learning the banjo, believe it or not. I've been baking, I've been buying groceries and cooking, I've been knitting, I've been doing a whole bunch of different things. I've been getting out more often because I'm so tired of being pent up in the house. So I've been walking through the neighborhoods and appreciating what's going on in our neighborhoods. I've been biking. I've actually lost over 30 pounds in the last 3 months. And a lot of it has been because I've had the focus of being at home and being able to spend the time and attention on my well-being. So there are these things that do make a difference for us, things that are a more positive perspective to take. The 5 tips that I have for you in thinking about this and starting to change and move your thinking in this way. First of all, step back and get some perspective. Like I was saying, we always start to focus on everything that's going wrong. Actually stop and take some perspective as to how this year compares with other years in your life. Really, really get to it, get really specific and take a look. Now, maybe this year has been harder than most, but there may have been other years that you also thought were really, really challenging. So I just invite you to be really honest with yourself. Was this really the worst possible year ever? Secondly, check your thoughts and take some steps to short circuit the negative thinking. That's where all of this really starts. Third, check your speaking. The words that we say create the reality that we live. Third, reframe. Stop thinking about the problems and think about the opportunities. Stop thinking about the problems as problems and think of them as challenges. How can you actually bring other resources to bear on these things that otherwise would be totally overwhelming? And finally, practice gratitude. It's really, really a vital practice to be able to sit back at the end of the day and get really present to what it is that you are grateful for. even if you start small with just one thing every day and build from there. But I promise you, if you take these 5 steps, you're going to be able to turn that positive situation around for yourself. You'll be able to see things through a different lens, and it will change your experience of how this year has gone and how your life can go. Hey, listen, thanks a lot. If this resonates with you, please subscribe to my community. You can find it at www.blueprintforliving.coach and join my community. You'll get a brief email from me, and you'll get tips and tricks like this on a weekly basis. You can also check out my podcast, the Architect's Possibility Podcast, which is on any one of your podcast platforms. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day, great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.